Hello everyone, welcome to A Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. So I had said I was going to start crunching some numbers on the enclosed duckweed slash azolla floating containment cage that I want to make. And I'm trying to estimate what would be the daily harvest out of it. So this, I removed this out of the four largest breeding tanks that I've got, and it was pretty thick. So I removed about 30% out of those four tanks. And those four tanks are almost 4 by 8 feet. They're a little bit narrower, a little bit shorter, but just say they're 4 by 8 feet. So that would just call it 8 by 16. That would be, what's 8 times 16? 128. So that'd be 128 cubic feet. A 10 by 20 containment area would be 200. So I want to weigh this to see what I'm going to get, and then add 40% or so to that, and that will give me an idea on what I would be able to get every day from an area that size. Now, this is wet, so it's wet weight. And whenever you do a feed calculation, you want to do dry weight. It probably would have been advantageous to turn the scale on first. So we'll take this back off, turn the scale on. Okay, zero it out. So let's do this again. So I'm thinking this container weighs like a kilo. So wet weight, we've got 6.8. Let's say 6 kilos. This is 90% water. So what would that be? Almost a kilo of dry weight. So we could get about, out of a 10 by 20 box, just say we could get 2 kilos dry weight. And I'll do some further calculations on the amount of feed. You know, Tilapia Dave says we can go as high as 50-50. It's a formula that I don't have right in my head. A feeding guide, a feeding formula for tilapia. Of course, the small fish eat much less than the larger. So I would probably do this on like 100-gram weight fish to see how much 2 kilos, up to what size 2 kilos of this dry weight would, and I would still be able to feed it to them as a 50-50 supplement. Right now I'm going to go throw this down in the pond and let the fish that are in it enjoy it. Alright, tossed it in. Dang it, I forgot to bring my scoop down here. I was going to take some of this out and put it in the pond as well. Yeah, I forgot. This will be gone. I don't know if I've ever thrown quite this much in before, but I'm still thinking this will be gone by this evening. I'll come back and check. You can see they're already starting on it. And they love this stuff. You can see them eating it. And it'll be a regular dang old feeding frenzy here, just right quick like. They love this as a food. I guess the thing to do next would be to dry some of this, because it will have to be dried. I'm thinking, because I think it would just take up too much volume. So look, I'm going to be raising the fish in 10 by 10 nets, raised floating cages, let's say. And so, let's see, 10 by 10, that's 3, that's about, if they had aeration, I could probably get, on a 5-month harvest, 200 to 250 fish. And then they would have to have aeration 24/7. So I'm going to do a calculation on, and look, I'd like to do a 5-month harvest, so that would mean eventually having 5 such 10 by 10 boxes in here. And so I want to do the calculation on, there's plenty of room for those 5, and there's plenty of room actually for, I don't know, probably 10 of the well, I don't know if I could get 10 by 20 boxes for growing the Azolla duckweed in here. That might be pushing it, because this pond is only at water level, it's about 120 feet, and it's about 50 feet wide. So I don't know, I could probably get 8 in there pretty comfy. The good part is it would not need aeration, only the boxes that have the fish in them as well. So I'm gonna do some basic calculations and some math, and see if it's feasible to have like 1 or 2 large boxes doing nothing but growing the duckweed / Azolla, and would that be enough? 2 large boxes be enough for 1 box of fish on a daily basis. So I'm going to go do some calculating, and I'll make another short portion of this video at that time. Alright, so I've done some rough calculations. I've asked Tata, you know, I forget the dimensions of this pond. I pasted out long ago, but I've forgotten. So I'll start right here. Let's measure this way and then the other way. Just close, Tata. All right. Okay. That's 24? Okay. And about 1 foot back from the edge. That's 24 also? Here, let me look at that. Let me look. And that might even be a little too much, so we'll call it 45. All right, so let's do this way now, Tata. Yeah, so we're going to call it 45 of usable. Yeah. And I think the deep part, the usable part, I think came to right about here. Yeah, that's where we did the digging. Yeah. All right, we'll start from here. Okay. Okay. I think maybe that tree right there. Yeah. 19. So we have 48, 68. Let me double check this here. Okay, so we'll call it 45 by 65, yeah, just to be sure. All right. Now there's a, so there's all that area there that it's questionable whether it would be deep enough for cages. I forget how far we went back. Do you remember, Tatai, how far we dug it down?
Maybe from here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Okay, so 45 by 65, that's feet. That's the dimensions of the pond. So, I don't know, 14 meters by 20 meters, I guess. I just wanted to get this in my head so that I could figure out how many boxes to eventually put in here. So, let's take a look. So the Azolla / duckweed I threw in here is all gone from here, but some of it has gone over there. So they've eaten, I don't know, more than half of it. And that amount that I put in here, that 6 kilos of wet weight, and just call it, I don't know, a half a kilo of dry weight, that would be enough for 1 box of 200 fish per day. That's how much I would need. I'll go through all the calculations I've come up with up at the house. All right, guys, so to wrap up here with some quick facts and figures. So, I tried to remember what the recommended stocking density was in a pond with aeration. And Dave could probably, if I'm a little bit off on this, I'm sure that he'll leave a comment and let me know. As I recall, the maximum stocking density that you can put in a okay, well, let's go back. So a 10 by 10 foot cage is about 9 cubic meters, okay? And the maximum stocking density, as I recall, is from fingerling to grow out is 50 per cubic meter. And so that would be 450 in a 9.2 meter cage. So I've done all my calculations here on a stocking density of 400. Now you do lose some. If you lose more than 2 or 3%, then you're doing something wrong. But I'm pretty handy at raising tilapia now. The biggest thing is water quality. And in the beginning, I'm sure there won't be an issue with water quality. And if at some point a water quality issue does creep up, we'll just have to empty out the pond of the old fish and raise nothing but the fish in floating cages. So, biomass in a cage that size at harvest. And this is about 350 gram fish, 3 per kilo they call it here, 2 to 3. So biomass, you're going to get about 125 kilos out of that cage. A general rule of thumb is, a worst case scenario is a 3 to 1 food conversion. 2.5, 2.6 is a bit more acceptable, a bit more the norm. Now, under really controlled conditions, using really fancy feed, you can get it down to 2.1 to 1, 2.2 in that range, but I'm not going to be that sophisticated. So my range is like 2.5 to 3, and it's going to depend. I'll keep really strict records on this, not only for myself, but for you guys as well. Because at some point I want to scale up. And how it works out is that, to get 125 kilos of fish would take 375 kilos of feed at 3 to 1, just say. So I was thinking just use 360. And half of that, which would be the duckweed, would be 180 kilos. And by my nearest calculations, in a 10 by 20 foot, so that's 200 square feet, grow out cage for the duckweed, I would get roughly dry weight a kilo a day. And that would be enough for one grow out cage of tilapia. Look, of course, when the tilapia are smaller, they won't need it, and when they get a little bigger, they'll actually need more than a kilo a day. But averaged out through the grow out cycle, a kilo a day. And that will get me to half the feed cost. Because at a kilo a day in a total 6-month grow out, it would be 180 kilos, 180 days. So, you know, at the end, they're going to be eating more. In the beginning, it's, you know, the feed for those fish will range anywhere from 40 grams per day to several kilos per day. But you know, the feeding curve on tilapia is like this. When they're little, it's down here. Close to harvest, it's up here. So I can support 1 cage of fish, tilapia, with 1 cage of duckweed, twice that size. By my calculations, a 10 by 20 cage, 200 square feet, will yield 1 kilo dry weight of duckweed per day. So extrapolate that out, because it's what I want to do. I want to have, and it's what I can comfortably fit in that pond. So I can fit 6 10 by 10 cages of tilapia and 6 10 by 20 cages of azolla, duckweed azolla mix, and still have room left over. The pond is usable, probably 45 by 65. So I can easily put 6 of each. The important part, you know, so the price of tilapia has gone up a bit of late, because right after the typhoon, most everybody got out of it. Feed wasn't available, and when feed became available again, the price was astronomical. So what people did locally is they harvested the tilapia they had growing, and they didn't get back into it, because feed went up like 30-40%, just like that, and it took all the profit out of it. As an example, if I fed those 400 fish all commercial feed, sacked feed, we're looking at, you know, a 17,500 peso harvest, but we're looking at 16,700 pesos with feed. So if you can eliminate half of that feed cost, well, then you're looking at 9, possibly 10,000 pesos profit on a cage of fish, which is doable. And if you've got 6 of them, you're harvesting once every month. If you've got 12, you're harvesting every 2 weeks. Don't think I would ever have the capacity to do 36, maybe 18 if I was growing the azolla and duckweed azolla somewhere else, like in field 1. Maybe I could get to 18 total, which would give me, you know, a harvest every 10 days or so. And, you know, 9,000 pesos, that's almost $200 every 10 days or so. That could really supplement our income. So I'm going to begin this experiment. I'm going to go get some fingerlings, fry, from Wit. He has some pretty special ones. They're a mix between a couple different breeds, and I'm going to get some off of him. When I talked to him last Sunday, he offered them, and so I'm going to get some from him, and I'm going to put them in one of the tanks that doesn't have any crayfish in it, and I'm going to grow them out in there for a month, and then hopefully by that time we'll have a cage for the tilapia built and a cage for the duckweed built. It's toss of the coin whether or not that's going to happen. I hope we can make it happen. And then the next month, same thing. I'm going to try to put a cage of fish and a cage of duckweed in the water every month. And I anticipate that because the squash harvests are picking up now, that we can utilize a decent portion of the profits from the squash to fund this tilapia rebirth, I guess you could say. So it's going to be dang old interesting. I hope you guys come along. I'm kind of juiced about it because I always enjoyed tilapia, raising tilapia. What I didn't enjoy was just trading money. You know, commercial feed, so you're making 800 pesos a box. And when you pay for a harvest, you're just breaking even. You're just trading money. And that part I didn't like so much. So hopefully, utilizing the duckweed, we can make some decent profit. You guys will be along for the ride. I'll keep meticulous records and keep you updated. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.